Hi, friends, I'm Eralia, and welcome back into the Eralia Show, a space for intentional conversations offline. Honey, I'm home. Yes, that is correct. I am home, which means I have made it successfully through my moving process. We have traveled very far, me and the cats, can't forget the kitties, Jinx and Loki, have made it all the way across the country for my next military assignment. I don't know how many more of these I will be doing. I don't know if this is the path forever. This might be my final assignment. Who knows? But exciting things are in our midst. Exciting things are lying in wait in this next chapter of life, in this next adventure. And I wanted to sit down and chat with you all for a second before I jump right into new content, right into watching more movies, getting back into our games. I have been yearning for games. I had so much fun playing GTA 5 before I got yoinked for an overseas mission, which once again I'm so grateful for because I had the time of my life, both professionally and personally overseas, and it's what unlocked our movie era, right? Eralia, Eralia, and we began watching so many movies together, and that's what got me into Marvel and so many wonderful new horizons. And of course, Expedition 33 also was so much fun. Honestly, playing that game really put me in my element, even though it was quite challenging and quite a difficult game because I haven't played too many turn-based games. It really did feel like home for some reason, and I really can't wait to get back to the beauty that is Clair Obscur as well. So many things have happened, and in the midst of them all, I also completed a cross-country move, and now I'm here and chatting with you all. So like I said, before I jump back into all of the great things that lie in store, I wanted to take a second and be mindful and just chat with you all about life and see what's up and um as always, take away some lessons learned from the last couple of weeks, because I can't just, exist. I have to ponder. I am unfortunately a ponderer. So reflect on the time, the good and the bad from the moving process, some large lessons of this chapter of my life, some things I'm really looking forward to with content. Just yap with you all. A good yap session is overdue in this love season for Valentine's Day, Valentine's episode. I'm just so excited to be here with you all, and it just feels natural to sit down and have a conversation before we begin getting all back into the good stuff. So, first and foremost, thank you all so much for being here. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. And it is even more critical during large changes in your life, during large chapters and pages being turned in your life, to have a community more specifically that supports you, is on your team, both online, offline, having people who will show up in every arena, in every part of your life, whether they're asked to or not asked to. It is huge, and that goes to my online family as well, to each and every single one of you. Thank you all so much for being here during every single PCS or military, procedural move I've had to undergo, or any overseas travel that I've had to do, or just general work trips and things I've been tasked for, deployments I've undergone. It is absolutely pivotal and critical to have such an amazing group of people online spending time with me and providing support both behind the scenes in the Discord with little messages when I'm giving updates, or hearing y'all's updates about how you're doing and learning about your lives and tests you're studying for and jobs you're applying for, or supporting each other through family crises and just things that you don't really get to connect with in maybe your real life as much unless you have a close inner group of friends. It's just very special to be able to connect and bond over the human experience. And it was such a human experience moving. I haven't officially started working yet. I honestly have been spending every single waking moment basically unpacking my house in order to make this place feel like home, because I haven't had to move in half a decade essentially. I was at my last assignment for quite a bit, and it was just it's a large change, even though many people don't move at all that aren't in the military. Non-military people normally just kind of stay where they are and sometimes move, I think, is my understanding of how that works. But as a military person, obviously you move a lot more than the average person. And with that, like I said, it's been half a decade since I've had to move and uproot and change all my things and learn where my new grocery store is and go find a new gym and find new friends. So it's always a humbling experience to feel like a fish out of water again. And something that I could take away from that that's actually positive. And I think that that's going to be the main trend of the things that we're going to discuss today, the theme of positivity and um, confidence going into any battle of life. Those two things will, and a community, positivity, confidence, and community. Those three things are the keys to large life changes, certainly. Um, but yeah, something positive that I've taken away from being a fish out of water is that it reminds you truly of how human we all are. That you're not invulnerable, you're not godlike, you're not immune to feeling lost, to feeling like a noob in your everyday experiences. It's it's not just video games. You have to unlock the foggy areas of life or use a GPS like I had to learn in GTA. We're not going to talk about that, y'all. We're not going to talk about it. But that's basically me IRL navigating actual change as well. So it's very humbling. It's very rewarding when you actually put on a nice outfit for the first time or put on a set of gym clothes and drive to your gym every day, even though it's a new, scary experience. Or you put on a nice outfit and take yourself out to go get a coffee for the first time. I actually did that this week. And so I finally am stabilizing. I feel like a human again, which is why in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you Google that pyramid, it's like all your basic needs, food, water, safety and shelter, all that. And then as you build up to the pyramid, at the very pinnacle of the mountain is the third and fourth after effects of just things that would be nice to have. They're like sprinkles on the cupcake, but they're not the absolute necessities. And so in this moving process, me getting to sit down at my gaming setup and even have a chat with you all or start recording again was my tip of the pyramid. I wanted to make sure that I was almost good in all other aspects of my life so I could sit here and authentically just feel comfortable and safe and happy and not feel stressed coming back to recording because I don't know about you guys, but I I like to enjoy what I do. I don't know how many of you guys can relate, but if I can help it, I like to be in a happy state of mind. I like to be level-headed. I like to just really bring my best foot forward when I hang out with you all. That's not always possible because life does sometimes get in the way. Sometimes there are circumstances that lead me to not being at my absolute peak when I sit here in front of you all. And that's okay because that's also human. But if I can help it, especially during, like I said, a large chapter and a large change, such as the one that I just underwent, it is particularly important to feel safe in my safe space here with you all. And I would like to happily report that thankfully, knock on wood, things are going mostly well. I will not say, has not been without trials and tribulations. On my road trip here, everything was fine on the back end as I was leaving. The movers got everything. I traveled, over half of my road trip out of the 40 hours. Yes, 40 hours with my cat. I made it about halfway. I stopped and was able to get a new car because I decided to leave my old car that I had paid off and had been driving for the last 10 years. It was my college car. It was my everything car. I decided I wanted some more features on my car. Like, nowadays they have lane assist, and I wanted all-wheel drive, and I wanted some nice things. I wanted some heated seats, because it gets cold. I've been hanging out in, like, the desert in the warmth for the last half a decade. I don't know what it feels like to be cold anymore. Or drive in snow. So I was like, I'm going to upgrade my car. So I got a brand new car, and that was really exciting, and I packed her up, hit the road, and then literally, like, 6 hours outside of my new location, I got into a unfortunate snow incident in the new car and absolutely wrecked her up pretty bad. I wasn't even speeding or on my phone or doing anything heinous. It was just absolutely pouring down snow, and I was on like a back road because the GPS decided to take me off the interstate for some reason, and the interstate is actually surprisingly the only thing that's somewhat clear during a snowpocalypse. I don't know these things. I haven't been in snow. Um, and unfortunately, my timeline with having to move literally lined me up with a giant apocalyptic snowstorm, so that's cool. Thanks, universe. It be like that sometimes, I guess. And it took me down a back road, and I was just going slow, and unfortunately, the snow like my tires caught in the snow, and it physically swerved. I've never experienced this before. It physically swerved me off the road and then just straight into a ditch, into a tree. But thankfully, there were some nice people, and this is where the theme of positivity comes in. Minus my little sob story about wham wham wham, new car, woe is me, life sucks sometimes. And but when you get handed a shit sandwich, you can either cry about the shit sandwich, which I did freak out a little bit, but ultimately it is our own responsibility to accept things as they are, whether that takes you 5 minutes, whether that takes you 5 months, 5 years, 50 years. But to gain acceptance and to move forward and to find the positivity in any situation. Thankfully, I was okay. Thankfully, my kitties were unharmed. Thankfully, I ended up in this back ass roads woods area, but there was a nice couple that ended up pulling over and staying with me until a towing company came. And the towing company was so nice and they were so kind, and they made sure that my car was okay and drivable in the snowstorm, and I was able to pull over and get some rest. And it's basically ended up, I genuinely felt like I was in a movie or in my own video game where I was the main character and just everything was crashing right in front of me, literally, including myself. Um, but like I said, when life hands you a shit sandwich, or you just, well, what are you gonna do? You gotta make shit spaghetti. I don't know. You gotta move on. And so I just kept trugging forward, and I kept encountering all these new NPCs with a smile on my face, even though I probably looked like shit because of the long commute and just the stresses and the cats and feeling so bad, like a terrible mother, for dragging them across the country. My biggest accomplishment, besides wanting to just get to my new home, even though I'd never seen it before, never even visited, I wanted to get home and get my kitties home to safety. The second thing was trying to keep a smile on my face as much as possible. And even though that doesn't seem as significant as the whole safety piece, and some people might scoff at that, it really was what the glue that held me together for that trip, for the rest of it, and through my moving process thereafter. So what I can say is I made it safe to my new location. Karma, the universe was nice to me, and my things got delivered shortly thereafter, and I was able to get all of my things, almost all of my belongings. And every time I would sit down and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I don't want to unpack, oh my gosh, I honestly would just slap that freaking silly smile on my face and drink some coffee, and I would rest, of course. I haven't just been like powering through 24-hour days, but I wanted to really take advantage of not having to go to my real job yet, to my work yet, and just really make this place feel like a home. Like I told you all, I wanted to be completely safe, feel completely comfortable, and so my end goal was always, and y'all are gonna be like, you're such a cheese ball, Eralia, you're so cheesy, was to get here into this moment right now and to actually be able to sit down with you guys and record again in a happy and not super weak, fragile emotional state after everything I had gone through alone. Just wanting to um be here in this moment, and it's been a couple weeks, which is crazy to say. It is literally to today, basically to today's date, since I crashed my car, moved across the country, everything. It's been 2 whole weeks, and it has felt like lifetimes. But my shining star was always getting here to this moment and that top of the pyramid and getting to actually do something for me, to have my office and to continue making content because it's what is my happy place. It's what makes me happy. It's what connects me with you all. And so I'm happy to be here. All of that to say, it's what kept me going. And the main quote that I would take away from that experience and everything and every single day since, with like finally insurance pulling through and the movers coming and just keeping a smile on my face and finding the good in anything that I possibly can, because that's what shapes the world around you. If you just keep latching, your mood is contagious, and you keep latching onto the negative, everything's just going to seem more and more negative, and then you're never going to spiral out of it. So what's the point? Easier said than done. Easier said than done. But what I kept saying to myself and repeating was, movement dictates mood. What I mean by that is, I can sit and I can wallow and I can say, oh, I just want to lay down. Oh, I just want to watch TV. Oh, I just want to... First of all, bitch, I didn't have a TV for a minute there, and I didn't have a place to lay down. I was sleeping on a sleeping bag. Like, these are extreme circumstances. But movement dictates your mood. So sure, you want and you may feel these needs of like comfort and, oh, I just want to be coddled. I want to coddle myself. And where it is good to do that, it is good to acknowledge your situation and to feel your feelings and go through it. Just be very aware and be very cognizant of how you move is how you will mood. Your movement dictates your mood. So as I had that like vision of finally setting up my office and getting everything hung on the walls and everything unpacked and my computer finally turning it on after the freaking experiences I experienced, I was like, every single movement, just a little bit, unpacking my fridge magnets, putting away my forks, hanging clothes, every single movement will make me feel better inherently because I know that I'm working towards something and I'm building towards something. And that was a very, very, very valuable lesson to learn through a very stressful time in life, alone. But I think it's a very valuable one that I will continue to carry with me going into the future. I think that was a sentence. I will carry it forward with me into the future, into situations that may not be as extreme. It may just be a Monday after work. And I'm normally pretty good at this. I don't want to say like I've never pushed through adversity and never recorded when I'm tired or like went for a run when I didn't feel like it. But I even more so now have just fully embedded that into my frontal lobe, into my frontal cortex, and hopefully something that I'm saying through these tales of how things have been will resonate with one of you all out there, if it at least helps one person with whatever they're facing, whatever you're facing, whether it's more grave than what I went through, less severe, just realizing that you are in charge of how you will feel for the most part. And if all it is just putting one foot in front of the other, then do so. Then do so and see how you feel. If it requires a little coffee for extra pep in your step, then so be it, right? But yeah. Man, it has been a time. And obviously you all know how much this means to me, sitting down, as you can tell from that long-winded tale, to finally be here in front of you all. Thankfully, knock on wood, unharmed. The movers did, once again, positivity, confidence, and community. But the movers did lose my legs to my giant, really nice desk. So although this is my setup, I am actually on a tiny desk from Target that I just found, because I was like, there will not be any more obstacles. My goal at the end of this is sitting down at my desk and recording, whether that means I have my desk or that means literally like my monitors are hanging off the desk and I don't even have a mic stand. It's just, I don't have like my normal arm. It's just in front of me and I had to bump up the gain, so hopefully I don't sound like a crazy person, and I don't even have enough room for anything. We're not going to talk about it. It's a shit sandwich. I have ordered new legs for my standing desk. Hopefully I can just figure something out myself, and make a little impromptu fix for that, because this is not going to work for me in the long term. But for now, I decided that I wouldn't allow for obstacles to keep me from being at the top of my pyramid. God, don't even mention periods on top of already heinous situations. If you don't know what a period is, Google it, okay? If it's like, if that word scares you, dear God, let me tell you what. If you think existing is bad enough, try doing it while bleeding. But I digress. Just women being women, just womanly things. Ignore that. Um, yeah. Obviously, we've discussed the power of positivity. So thank you all for listening to my rants there, and hopefully you took away something from that. And just the power, the sheer power of keeping a smile on your face, even if there's tears rolling down your eyes, just trying to smile and being kind, because people will be kind back, whether you do notice it at first or don't notice it at first. Just being a more positive and kind and smiley person in general will get you far in life, or farther than being a pain in everyone's ass. And then also confidence. And this one is just something that I hope to take forward into my next workplace. Starting up here shortly, beginning my new job with new coworkers, uncharted waters. Perhaps my last military assignment. Who knows? Who knows where the future is going to take us? But confidence, and not just of something like, oh, I don't know if I could put this painting in this wall by myself. I don't know how to use this wall anchor. Oh, I've never had to use a stud finder before and figure out how to mount things and how to build furniture and whatever. Just telling yourself, I can fucking do it, and I belong here and I'm supposed to be doing this, can also get you really far. So not just applied to the little things in life, but even, like I said, entering my new workplace and not feeling like an imposter or not feeling underqualified or overqualified, just not over analyzing it, carrying yourself with grace, and feeling like you walk into a room when you belong in it. Feeling like you belong into a room when you walk into it. Um, yeah, and sometimes that can be affected by the other people that already are in the room. So obviously community and the actual environment you work in can impact whether you feel like you belong there or not. But particularly when it comes to new situations and embracing them with your best foot forward and positivity, combined with confidence, not overconfidence, mind you, not overconfidence, but just knowing your own competence and having worth in what you've achieved and what you bring to the table, and that flowing into confidence is huge. Is huge. And also living up to it, not just saying you'll do the things or just pretending and being a face around the office or whatever, but like actually meaning it and actually wanting to participate. Because I think I've said this before in the past, but if you want to be in the village, you have to play villager. If you want people to help you out when you're in a tight spot, then you should maybe be helping people out when they're in their own shit sandwich. Being kind, being confident, and then finally community, as we've already discussed, has been monumental. Like my friends absolutely living with me on FaceTime while I've been just crashing out for the last 2 weeks, or actually, I guess, attempting to not crash out any more than I already have. Oh, and then just popping into Discord and being like, hey guys, I am alive. I am doing my best, truly. And then everyone also echoing that they're also doing their best, and everyone is in completely different chapters and points in their lives, but being able to just exist with you all is huge. And so I'm happy to be here. I finally also sat down and wrote out some thoughts for content going forward, and how, despite having like a new job and a new schedule and being more busy and stuff, how I'm still going to be able to watch movies and also get back to the games that I really, really, really yearn to play. I've been so excited. So coming up with a game plan for myself now that things are mostly set up and I will resume normalcy in my life, or start a new normalcy, coming up with like a structure of baby steps, a building block structure of What's the best way I can play, even if it's not exactly up to the standard of what I want? I want to be able with, my 80, if I had 5,000 hours a week, I ideally stream on Twitch for 6 hours a day. I would ideally put out 4 gaming videos and 4 movies a week because I just love this shit. But that's just not the way life goes. So figuring out how I can maybe just dial down my own expectations of myself, but doing it with positivity, with maturity, with quality over quantity, with confidence, and just knowing what I bring to the table and knowing my own limits as well. Um, and just being hopeful that the community we've built is receptive to that and is excited whenever I'm able to put out any content, because we know what the opposite of that is. It's called deployment, and it's called going ghost for 6 to 9 months. So it's just been so nice to sit down, feel human, come up with a structure for content despite getting into a new routine, and hoping for the best in this new chapter. I really think that's all I had to say. I was hoping that this would be structured more like here's a crash course in confidence. Here's a crash course, one of my normal episodes where I really have like something super deep and a theme to take away. But I think that this was deep enough. This podcast was deep enough. We have covered everything. We have gone over this chapter of my life. Movement dictates your mood. That's a big one. The power of positivity, confidence, and community. One last thing I will say before you tab out, before you move on with your day in a new way, in a new light, with a smile on your face. Is that right? Isn't that right? It's just like confident people, and what I also was trying to kind of say with the coming up with my own schedule and doing it in my own way, even though it might not be up to my own expectations or other people's expectations of me. It's just what I have and what I'm able to do, and that's that. Is that confident and positive people don't have time to think about what other people are going to think. They don't have time for negativity. They don't have time for, pondering anyone else's lane. They are just confident. They are exactly who they are. They're honest. They're open. They hold themselves like they belong in a room. They don't focus on drama. They don't gossip. They just don't have time for that. They live in their absolute own world. They are focused. They're locked the fuck in. They don't care about what other people have to say. Obviously, this is a little bit different because we're an online community. So I do care about what you guys have to say, and I do care about your inputs and your suggestions, and I do care. I do listen. But just in general, you should follow your own path. You should do what's right for you, and listen to yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay confident, stay positive. You got this, whatever season of life you're going through. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me during today's episode. And I am looking forward to all of the wonderful adventures we have in store for us and the episodes ahead. See ya.